Hello sunshine, my name is Tiffany and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about self-care and self-love, two topics that go hand in hand when we're talking about making deposits into our physical, emotional, spiritual, and mind health bank accounts. So let's jump into it. It's common to save self-care for like a Sunday or a Saturday or nighttime or something like that. But what I find is really useful and helpful is starting your day with self-care at the forefront of your mind. So the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is I visualize my day. And I think it's easy to roll over, wake up and look at your phone first thing in the morning, but I think it's important to give some time to yourself, especially in the morning when you're waking up and you're starting your day. I don't know if you hear my dog. God bless you. Yeah. So when you wake up, you can visualize your day and what you do want out of your day versus what you don't want out of your day. I think a lot of times it's very common for us to picture the things that we don't want out of our day, and then we move forward with that in motion. And I think it's really helpful to do the opposite of that and picture and visualize what we do want out of our day. So for example, instead of thinking, you know, I can't believe it's already 6:30 and I have to get up and go to work, like I really don't want to go, I know there's going to be traffic, or you know, I don't want to get up and work out, it's so cold outside, like I really don't want to run, like ugh. I think it's really important for us to flip that and think like, I can't wait to wake up, like I'm so excited to have, well, one of the things that I've been really excited to have when I wake up in the morning, pancakes made with banana and sometimes cinnamon, or I'll use blueberries, and they're delicious. Like who doesn't like to wake up and have pancakes? Hello, this girl does. Another thing I like to do is say hello to nature. So that might look like going for a walk or having a morning drink on the porch, soaking it all in, baby. I have a 5-month-old baby boy, so I wake up and I go and see him. I don't know if you can hear him in the background making his little noises. I go into his room, I open up the blinds, we let the sun shine in, we sing a little song, and that's how we start our day. I think it's really easy to wake up, hit the snooze button and think, oh my god, I can't believe it's already X o'clock, like I really just want to stay in bed, and that's not the best way to start our day. So start it on a positive note. The thing I like to do is pick an affirmation for the day. So since I do have a fast-growing little one at home, one of my current favorite affirmations is, I find joy in the small things that make up my day. It's so fun to see him experience everything for the first time and be just so excited and interested in life and all the things that surround him. So seeing life through his eyes is really, it's beautiful. So affirmation for the day. And besides like walking through the day, some things just in general are, I like to use an essential oil diffuser. At night I like to use lavender, and during the day can use like different citrus smells or peppermint. They really get you going and I feel like give you energy and stimulate your spunk. Another thing I think is really important when we're talking about self-care is to engage in positive self-talk. So it's very easy to give kudos to somebody else for, say, making a delicious meal or recording, you know, a beautiful song, like, oh, you did so great with that, oh, you sound so awesome, oh, you look so good, oh, you know, like that writing is really great, nice essay, like whatever it might be. But a lot of times we criticize ourselves and we critique ourselves so much to the point where it's a little bit crippling for some, and I think it's important to engage in positive self-talk. So that might look like just giving yourself a pat on the back for certain things, like making a delicious meal, and instead of eating and being like, oh, this is good, give acknowledgement to yourself for having made that meal. So saying like, I did a great job, like this is great. Like, or if you're experimenting with, you know, writing music, like, oh, I'm so glad that I put time in today to play the guitar and practice that song. Like, you know, I'm proud of myself for trying. And it might seem silly, but I think it's very common for negative thoughts to kind of just like spiral out of control or like shoot off in our heads about certain things, and it just comes from instincts anyway. Like, we tend to live in this fast-paced world where we have fight or flight just like fueling us. So it's important to take a step back and acknowledge the good things and tell yourself in a positive way what it is that you're proud of, what it is that you appreciate from yourself, that you gave yourself that day. I think a lot of times we tend to give power to or responsibility to other people in order to appease or satiate our needs and our self-care. So I know before quarantine or before COVID, it was easier to go to the spa and get your nails done, or go get a massage, or go take like a yoga class or kickboxing or whatever. I think this is a great time, especially because a lot of us are still home, or a lot of things are shut down, or just going to the salon and doing the things that you would do to indulge in self-care maybe don't feel as great when you're sitting there wearing a mask and there's a plastic wall up there and you're just like, okay, well, I can't really breathe so great, and like this is not very therapeutic. So what we can do is give that responsibility to ourselves. So one of the things that I like to do is facial massage. I like to use gua sha, different stones, jade rolling, or even just my hands after a nice warm shower. And that's something that I do in order to give myself some personal care and show myself some love. My husband got me a massage gun for Christmas, and it's been the best thing ever. You basically just turn it on and you can massage your body, and it's just, you gotta get one. I think he got it on like eBay or Amazon or something like that. Who doesn't shop on Amazon, right? It's more expensive on Amazon, though. I believe on eBay it was like half of the price. Another thing that I like to do is to do like a guided meditation. YouTube has a lot of different options and stuff like that, so I'm sure you can find plenty, but basically guides you through like deep breathing exercises and visualizing and stuff like that, and it is very calming for me at least. And you can just do it for 5 minutes, and it really does, reset or set the day for you. Another thing I like to do, and since I'm breastfeeding, I need to consume a lot of, but it's kind of hard to do, I feel, when it's cold outside, is drink water, regular water, and I make some pretty water. So I put lemon and raspberries in it, and it's delicious. Another thing that I think is helpful is to take a mind walk, especially if you're feeling anxious or your day is just kind of a little bit out of control or negative things are happening, but also when things are not happening, that are making you feel uneasy or anything like that. I taught for about 9 years students with autism, so one of the things that we worked on was a lot of anxiety reducing therapies and strategies, and one of them is a mind walk, which we would do with the students. I would practice it with my students, and it's very therapeutic, so it's something that I've adapted, and sometimes I'll do it for myself, especially if it's like the day is just a little bit hectic. You can do that anywhere, and basically what you want to do is tune into your senses. So really being in the moment and being present with what's happening and what you hear, see, smell, and maybe even taste, and just focusing on those things during that mind walk. I think it's easy for when we're doing one thing for our brains to be in hundreds of different places and not really be present in the moment. But present moment, mind walk, try. So speaking of the present moment, it's important for us to make sure that when we are practicing our self-care rituals and routines, and also when we're not, but maybe just start off when you are practicing them, for us to be aware of our thoughts and be mindful of what we're telling ourselves or what we're allowing in our mental space during that time. So say if you're in the shower and you're taking time for yourself, you're listening to music, you have the steam going, all that jazz, and you're thinking about like stressful topics, or a conversation you had with somebody that made you feel uncomfortable or whatever. It's helpful, I think, to be aware of those thoughts and to stop yourself and tell yourself, like, okay, I acknowledge, like, I'm having this thought about this, but this is not the time for that. This time is for me, and I'll think about that later if I want to keep thinking about that. And it's very helpful because if you have dedicated 15 minutes to practice some sort of self-care, like I know as a mom, and I'm going to school and I'm a teacher and all of the different things, a lot of us don't have much free time. So if you carve out a certain amount of free time out of your day, and then you spend most of that time, while say you're doing a facial massage, and then you spend half of the time thinking about that conversation with so-and-so that made you upset, or all of the things that you have to do, or whatever that might be stressful, or that might just be taking you away from the moment. It's important to pivot back and remind yourself, like, hey, this is time for myself. I'll think about that at another time. So something that is really popular but also goes back to what it was that I taught my students is gratitude journal. So I think that it's really popular now. I'm hearing a lot about it, but a couple of years ago I was doing it with my students, and I think it was very helpful because they, like us, would tend to think, ahead at all the things that maybe could go wrong in their day, and anxiety was a big inducer of maladaptive behaviors and whatnot. But I think just helping them realize that even though we can't control the things that happen in the future, or maybe we can't control the things that are happening right now, we can control ourselves, and we can learn to control our minds and our thoughts and make them more productive. So gratitude journals, I would have the students write down, and I would do it with them, have them write down things that they were grateful for. So, like, I'm grateful to work with so-and-so today. I'm grateful that I have whatever for breakfast. I'm grateful that after school I get to go to the park with my mom. I'm grateful for what have you. And I would do the same. So I wouldn't do it with all of my students, only some of them had that programming and those exercises. But I found that it was very beneficial for me when I did them, because I know I'd go to work and I had a long commute and it would be stressful, and working with students with autism is challenging, although I love doing it. My dog's right here. Hey. Another act of self-care that I have been engaging in more recently is reading. I don't know if you can hear my dog. So right now I'm reading Harmonic Healing, which, if you're into more metaphysical, natural ways of healing your body, cleansing your body, and all that sort of stuff, this is a really interesting book. Another book that I have been reading is Gut, which basically talks about the gut, but it also touches on the source of different intolerances and what goes on within the gut and all of the different things. On my free time, I like to read about health-related things. I have a degree in English, and also I'm almost done with my degree in teaching English for middle and high school students. So I read other stuff, but these are guilty pleasures. So, reading. So another activity that I think is very helpful is breathing. Obviously we all breathe throughout the day, but I think a lot of times our breathing is more shallow or not as therapeutic as it could be. When we breathe and we let that oxygen flow through our bodies, we're basically giving nourishment to our cells, and we're giving oxygen and helping the blood flow and all these different things. And people that tend to breathe short and shallow and tend to have more higher levels of anxiety. So it's definitely helpful to realize how you're breathing and to take a moment to just breathe. Deep therapeutic breaths, and be aware of how the breath is going in your body and how the breath is going out of your body. Don't underestimate the power of the breath. I know I'm going on and on talking about all these different things, but if one of them in particular interests you, definitely leave me a comment and I can do a video specifically dedicated to that. Okay, another that I've been super into, especially in the morning, opening up the windows, letting the sun shine in on my bed, is body brushing. There's a lot of videos on YouTube of body brushing as well, but basically I like to start at my feet and I brush long strokes upward, and I brush long strokes on my arm upward towards your heart. Helps the lymphatic system go, helps your blood flow. It's very calming, and there's so many different things that are positive about body brushing. And if you're not into those things, then it also helps with cellulite, stretch marks, yada yada. I could do videos on those if you're interested. Definitely leave a comment if you want me to. But yeah, super simple. And I think this was like $8. Maybe it was cheaper than that. And I got it at Whole Foods, but really I feel like you can get these so many different places these days. So one of the popular self-care activities that I think we all have heard about is taking a bath. So taking a bath, putting on some relaxing music. I know a lot of people like candles. I don't use candles. If you're interested in why, leave a comment, I'll talk about it. But I do use essential oils, and I like to put some essential oils in the water or some Epsom salt, and kind of just have a moment. My friend got me these shower bombs. So I know there are bath bombs, but there are also essential oil shower bombs. And basically you just put it on a tray and let the water kind of hit it, and it's really nice. Maybe read a nice book, or do some deep breathing or guided meditation in there. It's nice, especially as a mom, when you kind of layer your self-care and get the most bang for your buck. So taking a bath, doing some breathing, doing some guided meditation, it's great. And before going to bed, after reading a few pages in my book, I like to make a mental note of one goal for the next day. And I also like to think about victories for the day, so things that I got to do, or things that were like a win for the day. And it doesn't have to be crazy or anything, but being able to like get a workout in, making breakfast in the morning, getting up early enough to shower and do some self-care, like victory for the day. And something that I'm grateful for, so being able to spend time with my loved ones, my husband, my little guy. I might not do all of these things in one night, but just noting like a simple victory. So something that I'm grateful for, something that I'm proud of, something that I was able to accomplish, something like that. Just to end your day on a positive note. And the way that we end our day, we put our minds in a certain headspace that when we wake up in the morning, it perpetuates and it continues to the next day. So if you're scrolling on Instagram and you're thinking about things that maybe aren't as beneficial to you personally and what you want in your life, or if you're perseverating or thinking over different things that happened in that day that maybe made you upset, then you're going to translate that to the next day, the next morning. So really at the end of the day, show yourself some self-love, reset, and plant the seed for positivity for the next day. All right, and there you have it. Some of my self-care, self-love tips, strategies, activities, thoughts, and whatever else I rambled on about. Showing self-care and self-love is extremely important. So I hope that this video is helpful to you. I hope that maybe I talked about something new that you haven't seen. And like I said, if you're interested in any specific topic and you want me to dive deeper into it, definitely leave me a comment and I can make a specific video dedicated to that topic, idea, or tutorial, exercise, if you want to do a mind walk together, if you want me to show you how to body brush or what have you. Like I said, there's a lot on YouTube, but if you're interested in what it is that I do, definitely leave a comment and I'll make a video for you. All right, until next time, stay safe and well.